I've lost the books, I don't know where they are. Friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sarah from Ink and Hue Colouring. Today's colour along will be in Fantasy World by Emelie Lidehall Oberg. And the page I have chosen is our lovely merman gentleman here. He very much reminds me of Ariel's father from The Little Mermaids. So I think we're going to go with some colour schemes from him today, from his character. So there are a couple of elements that I want to talk you through. So today's colour along will be a real-time chatty tutorial. We'll see how we go for time. It's probably going to be a couple of parts, given that we've got some skin tones to do and all the hair as well. I am thinking of doing the hair white, and I can talk you through all of that, because there's a couple of different ways that I can approach that. Definitely thinking of covering up some of the black lines with a lot of acrylic paint pen and doing that first. So we can talk through that when we get to it. So I am also going to use watercolor paint for the background, and I've got some GRABIE paints here, and I am thinking of using the candy blue green down the bottom here. Potentially throwing in some green. We'll see how we go. I'm going to be using a size 8 round watercolor brush in the Fumui brands, and I've just got some water here and a little ramekin as well, so that I can get some of the color into here and paint that on. So we're going to start with the background, and I think I am going to do a border, potentially around 1 centimetre from the edge, and we will either paint over that in another colour, or I'll just border it off with a gold paint pen or something like that. So just got a ruler here, so I'll go about 1 centimetre. I think, so to show you how I do that, let me just, yeah, I'm just checking that it is enough for the edge, because yeah, I don't like taking paint right up to the edge as well. Okay, so I'm just going to grab a lead pencil, and I'm just using a lead pencil because I am going to rule off the border with either paint or a gel pen after it, so I don't mind if you can see a little bit of lead. So let's just mask this off. Not mask this off, what are we saying? Rule this up. Let's just do a bit of a line there. Might not be able to see this, it will be fairly light, and just we're going to do one down the very bottom. I don't know if you can see my hand down there. And just taking this all the way to the edge. Hopefully that is straight. Should be. Is that straight? Yeah, I think so. That like so. That should be about enough. You can see that line there. Yeah, that looks pretty straight. All right, and then we'll go just again, I'm just going to do another centimetre down here. That way. Centimetre roughly down there. Sorry, you probably can't even see that. There. Rule that in. And then for the top, pull that in. Let's go a bit further in. My ruler won't fit in there, so you can use an aqua colour pencil if you like. Now to somehow, let's get 1 centimetre. I go from the outside and get that as flat as I can. can be a bit tough. It's about where my thumbnail is, I reckon. There. Down the bottom. Okay. The inner one might be a bit higgledy-piggledy, but that'll be fine. And we'll just rule straight down. Okay, we've got a little border. Now I'm just going to clean up all these outer bits. And I'm just going to use a DERWENT mechanical eraser. You can use the eraser off the grey lead or just any eraser that you've got. Off there. 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 Alrighty, so we've got our border done. Now I'm going to apply some watercolor paint, and like I've been saying, I am just going to start with this candy blue green. So I'm just wetting my brush. And I will add a bit just to dampen it up a little bit more. Let that sit for a couple of seconds, for a little, maybe like a minute or two even. And I'm just going to take my ramekin and add a little bit of water. Just use the middle one. Bit of water into there. I would like it to be watery. So I'm just going to mix. Let's have a little bit in there. I don't want to have crazy amounts of colour. Pick up some colour. I'm just going to start to mix it. I'm quite new to watercolour. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm experimenting with it and playing around and seeing what techniques work, etc., etc. So, and I do think we will add in some candy green as well. So if I put this just down there, that candy green is this one here. I think we'll throw that in too. So I'm just putting some water in that. Letting that sit for a bit. Chuck some water in this one. I'm just doing it not over the page so I don't drip it. So just prepping my watercolor. And I'll add a little bit more blue, so we've got two colours there. We could add in some of these metallics that we've got. We'll just see. So my attempt is to alternate between the blue and the green. And I'm just wiping off my brush. I'm going to try not to get it too wet. I want enough water, but not a crazy amount. I'm just going to start from the bottom here and just work my way out. Now, I've chosen watercolor because Emelie's pages can take it. They're quite thick. And the aim is to be able to just build up some color if I need to. I can go straight from the pan. I'm just going to dot this around. Yeah, like I was saying, I am still learning and experimenting, so just figuring out some good techniques, some good methods. Might not be able to see this blue on camera, I can see it. But we'll keep going until we can get something that we like. We'll dip into the blue a little bit. I'm trying not to have a huge amount of water. However, I do need a bit more in my little reservoir thingy. Bit up the very top. You might like to do a different background. You might not want to do watercolor. You might want to do Neocolor 2 or pencils, or completely up to you. I wanted something quite light, quite soft. All right, when does this go in with a little bit of this green here? It's going to go from the pan. And let's go a little bit in there. Corner to bring it out a bit. Bit more green around here. Around the very bottom. Just going to work my way around. I'm alternating between the two colours. And if there's any areas where I do want a bit more pigment, then I am just picking up from the pan directly. You can also use watercolor pencils as well if you like. Let's go for a little bit up in the corner here. Just gonna pop some more water in my ramekin for this candy blue-green colour, which is probably, compared to the green in here, it's actually more blue. Way too much on the brush. Right, so for any water splodges that I need to clean up, I'm just going to grab a dry brush. And I'll just try and pick a bit up with that. And pop that to the side. Go back in with my regular brush. And there's still a fair amount on here. I thought I'd clean that off. It's all right, we'll spread it around a bit. We'll grab our dry brush again. All is not lost. It's mainly just in this part of the page where it's kind of bending and things can kind of pull a little bit quicker. I'm noticing, so I'll just pick up some of that. All right, moving down the page. So I'm still alternating between the candy green and the candy blue green. It's going to dip directly into the pan. Smush that around a bit. Yeah, I'm still very much getting used to the brushes, the amount of water, the amount of pigment, etc. And I'm really enjoying just having a play with it. Definitely think we could get some more colour in. I'm liking how this section over here is looking. And I have just noticed a section up the top that could use a bit of love. So let's get a bit more on the brush. Again, that's a lot. Let's wet this a little bit. Get some good colour. Sorry, I've got a frog in my throat. Bit of that here. All right, so I'm pretty happy with how the colour is in the top corner, and it's looking pretty good too. I might add a little bit down here. I don't really want to add saturation everywhere. I do just want it in certain spots because I quite like the variance that we can get. I like the look of some a bit more transparent. So I'll keep going with that. I'll add we'll add some little bits down the bottom, hey. And I think we can do a bit of down the bottom here in this corner too. Just moving all my stuff out of the way because we can get quite busy quite quickly. So let some of that colour move around a little bit. Just going to grab that dry brush and just pick up a little bit in the corner here. Okay. Same for up the top. A bit more, could add a little bit more water again, just getting that ratio right. Alrighty, might still just grab that dry brush and pick up a bit of, I think you can use sponges as well. I don't know, I kind of like the way the dry brush kind of does it. Okay, let's have a look at our whole page. I think we could add a little bit down here still. A bit more colour. Just going to tap it out. Go. Right. So I'm going to let that dry and then we'll see how we're looking. I don't feel like I need to add any metallic at this point. I'm really liking how that's coming out. Again, with the border here. I suppose you could erase it once everything's dry, but I'm just going to leave it there because that's going to give me a really good line to follow when I'm putting the gel pen over the top. Or it might even be a paint pen or something, or more paint. We could even do a big gold border. We'll see, probably not. We'll just go the gel pen. So we'll wait till all this is dry. While you're waiting for that to dry, we can pop all of our watercolor and clean up and pop it all to the side so we've got nice blank bench to work with for our pencil work. And I want to go for something quite ruddy, almost a bit red looking. So I do have a few colors set before me. So the first one that we're going to do is just our base layers. So I'm going to go in with Prismacolor Beige, PC997. And I will just start with probably the ear and just work my way across. So just a nice even layer of colour. I don't think I've ever done a men's skin tone before. Not that there's much difference, I suppose. It's more just the colours, I guess, and potentially a bit more texture. I'm not actually quite sure. We'll see. A little bit more of a ruddy skin tone. No makeup, of course. Yeah. Haven't got any eyelashes to contend with in this particular image. And these spots on his face, I'm thinking of a few different options. So I'm just keeping it the same across everywhere, so it's just a wash of colour. I had the option to use something other than pencil, but I thought we'll just go with pencil today. You could use some watercolor pencil. Probably wouldn't use alcohol markers in this because we are double-sided and we have a bit of bleed through. The good thing is we've only got a small amount of skin to work with. He doesn't have it's not like a full face because his beard is covering up a fair bit, so which is good. We can work on some nice layers. Okay, you can probably hardly see that, but he's got a little bit of colour there. Much more to go. Right, next colour is, you won't see the label apart from the number. This is 1001. This is salmon pink. So I do either conjoin my pencils to be like conjoined twins. Or I do pop them on a piece of dowel, so I'm just using this one at the minute because I think this is all I have in the salmon pink. I'm going to have to dive through my pencil stub collection. And I'm pretty much just going to do the same thing. I want to use the beige and the salmon together to form some base layers. So yeah, just doing the same thing. I think it's time for a pencil extender. With this, I've got a Derwent one. So the Derwent comes in a twin pack. This is the black one is for smaller barreled pencils such as Prismacolor. And there's a silver one in there too, which will fit your bigger barreled pencils like your Derwents and polychromos, etc. Now the forehead. I will go through with multiple layers, so once we put one colour down, it doesn't mean that that's it. We will come back. Okay, so that's it for our salmon pink. Now I'm going to add in beige sienna, PC1080. And now I'm going to start carving in just a tiny little bit of shadow. So this still will be over majority of the area, but you'll start to see a little bit of shape come through, potentially, if the camera picks it up. You'll start to see a little bit of shadow, just a touch. And you'll start to see a difference between this color and some highlight areas. I do have a very in-depth skin tutorial up on my channel if you are interested. There's a portrait playlist. So if you head to my playlist section, there is every video that has portraits in there. And I'll try and remember to link this below in the description for you, that's specific skin tutorial video, because I do talk through it in a little bit more detail. So I'm going to go from the outside, start establishing some shadows. The edges, I should say, work my way in. And I think it'll be over most of the area. And like we were saying, we'll come back in with our pencils again, the ones that we've used, and just add more layers. And I'll just start establishing an eye socket here. So if I can, and just bring this out a little bit. Start to see a little bit of a shadow there. I don't generally have a specific order in which I, on the face, what do I do first? I just kind of play it by ear and move on to the next section, which I feel like would be fun to do. Generally, I'll work from right to left, but yeah, kind of just let things evolve. I just kind of let the pencil take me where it wants to take me. Might just go over these little spots on his face, actually. Start getting some shadow areas around this side too. It'd be interesting to see how we go with all the highlights and the shadows here. It's kind of not as obvious, and because his face is quite angular, it's very different to what I've usually done. So, which is, I think, one of the reasons why I chose to do this portrait as well. It's just so different from what I've done. So majority of the area with this majority, I'm just erring on the side of caution. You might see that I'm not actually physically bringing it out as far as I'm saying I'm going to. Sometimes I just prefer to back off a little bit, and then I can always add more later if I need to, which I always do. So yeah, I have to just feel it out, I guess. Okay, that is our beige sienna layer for now. Next, we're going to go onto burnt ochre. So we're starting to get darker here. So PC 943. And I'm still going fairly light pressure at this stage. I will go heavier once I've got a fair amount of layers there. So starting to go in with some more reddier tones. And again, that is by no means the end of this pencil. I will add more layers and come back to this. I think we could really get some shadows in here and work on, and so that that can look quite curved, quite narrow. So we can see how I've started getting this line there. So we'll work on that as we go. Sometimes I don't really see or notice everything that I want to do until I start getting in there. Yeah, it can be a little bit hard to tell how to exactly shade something, but I'm just following my nose pretty much. So working from the edges of his face, the beard, that's where all the darkest points are coming from, and it's all working inward. Okay, let's start again with a little bit of the eye socket. The eye sockets are quite dark, so we can afford to do a lot of layering. I am just thinking about all these creases though and how we tackle that. I'm not quite sure, but sometimes you just got to back yourself and know that you'll figure it out, or you'll get closer to figuring it out as you go along. It'll never be perfect. Mine's never perfect, but it doesn't bother me because if I wait for perfection, I'm never going to actually do anything. So it's never going to happen. Just got to get in and do it. Could just accentuate some of his little wrinkles here. Rather than go over the whole thing, see how I'm just kind of starting at the base of each little wrinkle section. You wouldn't do this with every colour. Again, eye sockets are quite dark, so we will add plenty here. I always like to try new things with portraits because that's how we learn. Often I'm very tempted just to stay in the safe zone, stay in my lane, but yeah, I'll never learn if I do that. So I've really just got to get in. I've really just got to get in there and try. I haven't done this eyelid, have we? Over here, much. Not much at all. Could add a little bit more. What I'm trying to avoid is just having this like ring of color. I'm trying to bring it side on a little bit. Have a little bit of shading up here, but the majority of shading there. Because that's probably where it's going to be the most angle is. I do apologize if you're new to portraits and you have no idea what I'm talking about. Have a look at, yeah, my other skin tutorial video, which I will link below. Hopefully that'll explain things more for you. But yeah. Again, look, I'm not someone that professes to know everything about this either. I'm still very much learning. There's a lot of things I've got to learn when it comes to portraits, but this is just a summary of what I know so far. And hopefully it can help you. For me personally, I've got to be really careful with the noses. They're the hardest for me to do. Okay, now we're going to start moving into some really ruddy colors. So I've got a Tuscan red here, which is 937, again, in the conjoined twins. It might be, yeah, that's going to be big enough for just to rest that in there, potentially. Yeah, no, it'll be fine. And I'm just going to go and start again. I'm just going to go really lightly. So this might look super red, but once we add in other colors with it, it'll blend nicely. So I'm kind of going to pair this with the, this is almost too sharp. I'm just going to go to the more blunt end. Potentially. Sometimes, no, I'll try the other way. Like I know you're supposed to have sharp, but sometimes it's too sharp. It gets scratchy. Let's just keep going with our edges. Sometimes I like to, if it's a really sharp pencil, I don't go straight for the nose with a sharp pencil. I'll work my way to from the areas that I know are going to be really dark, so around here and in the corner here, and just let it blunt up a bit before I bring it into the really obvious areas. I don't know if you're technically supposed to do that or not. I don't know. It just works for me. eye socket as well. I always feel this is like my safe spot, the eye socket. Oh dear, because I'm like, yeah, it's going to be really dark here. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm going to leave a slight white line there. If you can see that's starting to form, because I kind of want that to be a little bit of a highlight. Okay, this is this eye area here. I'll just pop a bit in there. Okay, a little bit up the top. See that I'm going to have to, my first three colours are going to need a lot more work on the forehead and everywhere else, which is absolutely fine. That is usually what happens. Usually what happens for me anyway. All right, I'm just having a bit of a look-see. Now I think we're going to move on to the next colour, which again is a more ruddy colour. Okay, Prismacolor Pumpkin Orange at PC 1032. So yes, I have used all Prismacolors so far. It is a risk with this Pumpkin Orange because it often breaks. So we'll see how we go. I just find all my Pumpkin Oranges just don't work very well. I can use, if it gets temperamental, I'll probably just swap it for like a Mars Orange in the Derwent drawings or something. I do mix my pencils. I just wanted to use a wax-based pencil for the face today. And everything that I've kind of chosen is Prismacolor, so, which is fine. I'm more just saying that if you're new to my channel, I do mix all my pencils together. Yeah, I do prefer wax-based for skin combinations. I'll often add in oil-based as well, but it might be for a very specific reason. Might be the colour choice, or it's just what I'm feeling that day. Sometimes I want to experiment with how the oil pencils behave, and other days I want to experiment with the wax. And some days I want to experiment with both. So yes, I feel like every colour along that I'm doing is an experiment at the same time, and I'm just bringing you guys along for the ride. And the pages always work out, even if I'm not 100% happy with them. They're always fine. I'll bring this out a little bit further, I think. This particular pumpkin orange, it's a bit lighter than the red, so we can bring it out further. See how it's just making that red just blend in nicely? So yeah, often we can use quite unassuming colours. You can think that, oh, red, that'll be horrible, but it works. I do want to keep that line quite harsh, so not like harsh, but still prominent, so I'll keep working on that. So I'm just continuing to go over the red areas. And I might even just go over under the eyebrow just a little bit too. Yeah, I find myself in this particular, so see up here, I am focusing on certain highlight areas as much as I'm trying not to avoid this like huge like even circle. I'm trying to add a bit of texture in, say up here, and have it thinner up there, and have a, you know, a bit of a deep shadow there. I find that I'm putting the highlights more in the creases and the nose, of course, but usually when, you know, if I'm coloring a portrait that doesn't have any creases, I'll be like there, the nose, spot on the forehead. So here the highlights are in a lot more unassuming spots, which I'm kind of just discovering that as I go along. It wasn't really the intention, but I like it. I might try and keep a little of this area lighter, just under here-ish. Start to bring some of that colour up here. I don't want a highlight of the nose to be about there. I'm going to aim for that anyway. We'll see what actually happens. Things change. Right, I do think I'm just going to add a little bit more pumpkin orange just to this area. And maybe just a little bit here around the nose. Just trying to get some little bit of shape going. A little bit, maybe some over on the ears, and then we'll go to our darkest colours, and then we'll just continue layering. All right. The next colour we are looking at is in the Prismacolor Chocolate PC1082. Now the chocolate isn't my favourite, but I'm going to use it. If it's getting too temperamental for me, I can just swap over to, there's a Derwent Colour Soft that I can use, but we'll just use it for now. And I'm still going pretty light pressure. Kind of just want this colour and our last one just to be for some shadow areas for now. And I'll probably press a lot harder with these later on too. And I probably wouldn't mind matching this area up with that one. Just getting it a very similar shade, but we'll work on that. Might need to add more other colours. Yeah, like some more reds and the pumpkin orange and things like that. The pumpkin orange didn't behave too badly for me, which was good. It cracked the first time when I sharpened it, which was a shame. But we carry on. Oh, I forgot that ear. I need to do that. Let's just do that before I forget it, because I always, if it's not the main part of the face, I just forget. So I'm just going in the shadow areas, trying to make these look a bit curved, and we'll get some shadows on the side as well, behind the hair. Now I'll just get this lightly because we don't want to have these little creases here as dark as the corners. Like them to be there a little bit, but not too much. Get a bit more under the eyes here though. Try and curve around the nose here a little bit. Just going to do what I can. Like, it's not always going to be amazing, but yeah, I'll just do what I can. Not too concerned about that. A little bit around here, a bit of shading. Probably don't need any highlights right where my pencil is, so we cover that over a little bit. Not too much more than that. Nostrils. Just looking at stuff and swapping over back to it just while it's there in my mind, otherwise I will forget it. Maybe just a bit more around here. Just bring it down a little bit. So I kind of want to have it look like his nostrils just, you know, flaring outwards a little bit, and there's a bit of a dip in there. We'll see what we get. Definitely want to darken up more under these skin folds around his eyes. 100%. Let's bring some more up here. Okay, I'm just sitting back and assessing. A bit more under here. Here as well. Now for the forehead, and then I might move on to our darkest colour before we start cycling back through our other colours. The first layer, you've probably heard me say this a million times, but for me it's really just placing all the colours and knowing where everything's going to go. And then subsequent layers after that are really just building on it and adjusting things, putting more colour in, adjusting the temperature. So at the minute I feel like, yeah, he's just like he's glowing a bit too much. He does need to look a bit darker, a bit more red. Like, yeah, more orangey red. So we will get there. It's just a matter of time. And patience. Oops. Bit of a squiggle. That's all right. Just trying to figure out how to treat this. It is a crease, but how do we want to go about it? Do we want to add like a little bit to the bottom? Because like I don't want to just ignore it because I haven't ignored the others. Just add a little bit. Okay, let's move on to our darkest colour, which is PC946 Dark Brown in the Prismacolor, and going over the same areas. And then we move on, or we move back. This is my darkest colour, so I'm not going to bring it out everywhere. It does look fairly light at the minute, but it will press harder eventually. And sometimes it can be a bit of a guessing game with like, how hard do I press now? What about now? What about now? You kind of, You'll pick it up as you go along. Well, I find that I do anyway. So you kind of begin to see how much pressure you need to apply before you start getting pigment down. And you'll figure out how much is too much as well. And I find that I naturally just start adjusting from there. So the more layers I apply, the harder I'm going to end up pressing to get pigment in and to blend all the colours together. So it's very much an organic thing. You'll feel it. Sometimes it is a trial and error. It's something that you'll pick up over a long time. Certainly something that, like, I haven't been colouring portraits for years. I've been colouring them for maybe 1. So I still have a long way to go in terms of getting some real, like, long-term muscle memory in there. Just going to continue this fold here a little bit. I wouldn't even say that, like, realism is my goal either when it comes to portrait colouring. I think I just want to go for character and interesting tones and shadows and things. Like, I'm really not after trying to get all the little, you know, freckles and nooks and crannies and creases and all of that. It's like, I mean, I am doing creases here, but my goal isn't, I want this to look real. My goal is just to enjoy it, because I really enjoy portraits, and if I can just, yeah, have fun with this, then that's a win. I mean, if they look realistic, then, you know, that's certainly a win. Not the be all and end all though. I certainly don't sit down going, right, today I'm going to do this. Just thinking as well, like, I really need to, this area here, I'm just thinking, because I wouldn't mind making that darker, because he's kind of furrowing his brows a little bit, but if I just trying to think about, like, how this nose is as well, if that's going to work too. So I'll keep thinking about it while I'm doing this. Oh dear, who knows, who knows, who knows. I really think we need to, because I mean, I can always erase it if I hate it, but you'll add more layers, but I feel like it does need to be a bit darker. It looks really weird for now, but yeah, we'll just tweak it. We will tweak it, and if I don't like it, again, I can erase it. Because it does look like he's furrowing his brows a little bit. And usually you would, yeah, that'd kind of be darker, wouldn't it? Just do enough for now so I can kind of see what could be and I can work on it, but not have it too dark. And let's not forget the ear. And bits at the bottom of the nose. Or did I do that? Oh, don't remember. Don't remember. Yeah, because I'm thinking like maybe that shouldn't be a huge highlight there either. Maybe we just... I'm looking at it as I'm colouring and it's like I need to figure this out. Not that it... Yeah. Not that it should bug me, but I'm just like... Yeah, what to do? What to do? I think we might actually go... Ooh, let's go back to the Tuscan Red, PC937. And I'm just going to work up the colours a little bit. I don't need to add too much of this red, just a smidgy widgy. Just over the shadow areas too. I don't think I'm going to bring this out into... Oh, I mean, I could. It's looking all right. Because I like the way that was working with the pumpkin orange too, so... Hence why I wanted to do this as a real-time color along today, a chatty one, so I could talk you through everything that I was thinking. We could even, I know I've put the red around some of the eyes here, but we could even, I'll just fill in a little bit, but I think maybe we should stick to the cheeks. Maybe. I'm just going to bring this red out up here a little bit. It might look a bit funny, but we'll blend it. I feel like I need more colour. But because I do have a bit of red, we'll just use it for now in the eyes. Oh man, I slipped. I accidentally pressed a bit too hard. Oh no. Oh, it's all right. Now let's grab our burnt ochre, PC943, and just going to go over the red because it's there to be blended with, and just bring this color out a little bit further because this is the fourth lightest. It's pretty much bang on in the middle, this one. And I'm safe to use this colour over this brow bone and in the middle here. Because it is quite light, I'm just going to blend it with the dark brown a little bit, see what we get. See if I'm happy to continue it. See if I'm happy to continue to darken that up, or if I should just leave it at this. I'll leave it at that for now, just because I feel like it's just looking like that's just pushed in a bit. Like someone's got their finger and just gone. It's funny how, yeah, shadows can make things look very indented, can't they? But hey, that's fine. I'm just closing this forehead like gap up that we have slowly. I want enough highlight on there, but I don't want yeah, I just don't want too much. It's a fine line between too much and too little, I feel. So we're working our way towards it. We'll just do like an edge and bring the highlight in the middle rather than there. I think stylistically, I think it might be better. And just to bring this I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's kind of like I'm just trying to change the shape a little bit because I feel like it's too much pointing that way. I'm trying to bring it back. And to do that, you can just, yeah, you just tweak the shading. Again, I do apologize if this is your first portrait video that you've ever seen and you're like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Again, please go and have a look at the spotlight tutorial that I've done. Oh, it's probably like not the ideal page. Yeah. But I do hope you're getting something out of it. I'm very aware that this might not be everyone's cup of tea, so. Bit more of the little wrinkle areas. Okay, it's looking a lot more closed in, which is good in terms of all this like white space we've had going on. So I'm just going to do a bit of this ear. Okay, let me just dust off some pencil dust. And just gonna do a little bit more down here. We're getting there. Let's go back to our beige sienna, PC 1080. And start on the forehead. I'll just see. Yeah, because this is a good one to mix with the salmon and the beige as well. This is more of a brown. It's probably a good one for around the eyes. Or I think around the nose. Just, yeah, it's looking a lot better than I would usually do. I'd say it's nice, different, unusual, you know? As much as I really enjoy using oil pencils for skin on the occasion, gee whiz, I really like a wax pencil for flesh tones. Getting there, getting there. Okay, let's go through back to our salmon pink, which is PC1001. And I'm just going to pop it in my pencil extender again. Bring the colour out even further. Still maintaining the highlights, just really using this to mix it with that beige sienna that we've already had, and also the beige that we will have too. And I'm going to add in a white later on for our brightest spots. think we still need to go through the eye sockets and just darken those up a fair amount too, which we will after we've done these layers here that we're doing. Especially just around the middle here. And the forehead probably needs a bit more too. Quite happy with how the cheeks are looking and how the nose is looking. It's yeah, we're almost done with that. Nearly, you could say. Famous last words. It's going to even out some of those reds as well. And I'll do that with the pumpkin orange too. Bring that in a sec. Okay, let's add in the beige, PC997. And I'll just pretty much go over the same areas where the salmon was. I'll try and leave some white areas, just like a tiny bit, or just enough paper tooth where the white can blend with the beige. I do like quite a highlighted area, but I don't want to have it too much, just given that going for quite a, yeah, this particular skin tone that we're going for. I think I do need to bring in more pumpkin orange. Like I've been saying. Probably sound like a broken record at the moment. Alrighty-o, so as promised, let's go back to the pumpkin orange. PC 1032 in the Prismacolor, and I'll just some areas that are looking red that need to be adjusted. Not too much, otherwise they're going to look too orange. Like that. Yeah, I do need to get through with this dark umber and just work on some lines. And this forehead too, I think on the left here, I'm just going to add more colour. It's looking a bit sparse. Now I don't know if with these circles, if I want to leave those just as they are, or if I want to fill them in with anything. Maybe I could make them into moles or something, or maybe, I don't know. I do not know. Okay, oh, maybe just a bit more over on the ear here. And then add in some dark umber. Not dark umber, what's dark brown? Wrong colour. Okay, let's grab our dark brown again, PC946. I'll start a little bit here on the ear, some shadows in there. Okay, so let's work on these eye creases. See if we can get this a little bit darker in here. Don't have to get too much. We're starting to get to the point where I can't add too much more because it is burnishing. Filling in all that paper tooth. Which is why we apply layers, because we can get a lot more in. Down the bottom here as well. Let's just do some around the forehead as well. Okay, let's actually bring in something darker. Let's go Espresso PC 1099. Just for the darkest spots. Okay, just on the ear. Just going around the edges. Super dark areas. Okay, that is looking a lot better. Now just a bit up here. I'm really happy with how that area is looking. All right, a little bit up here. I definitely think we've got enough orange tones. I'm thinking, well, like enough of that pumpkin orange at least. Definitely thinking just the lighter tones. We could almost add in a peach colour, potentially. I've got it sitting in front of me because I do want to use it for the lips. I could try a bit on the ear. So that is peach PC939. It really, yeah, part of me is just thinking I've already kind of created this colour with the salmon pink and the beige. Potentially. I don't want to add anything that's kind of not gonna suit. Yeah, I think I've already recreated this. It does suit, but I'll just use it anyway. Because I do want to use it on the lips. For example, we could pop a bit on the pop a bit on the forehead, bring it out a bit. Use it to close up some gaps. We've still got it's a fair bit of white space left, like under these eyelids and whatnot. He's looking good though, hey? He's got some good character going on. Yeah, I'm really happy with how he's turning out. Very good. Mermen for the win. I feel like we might need a little bit more brown, that brown ochre up around here. Potentially. Just when you think you're nearly done with all your darker colours. Oh dear. No. Let's grab that colour. Via Burnt Ochre 943. 943. 943. Yeah. There's a couple of areas that could do with some shadows. I'm just mindful of not having him go too warm and looking like an Oompa Loompa. I don't want Oompa Loompas. Let's go onto the hairline a little bit too. Yes. Okay. Oh, a bit under here maybe. And now I'm going to go back to the beige sienna, PC 1080. Just do some more filling in of the things. Filling in of the gaps and sharpen that. I'm just closing up more of these lighter gaps. Then I think we're going to go in with the beige PC997. We must just do the same thing. Most of this is pretty burnished. There's just some areas that need to be smoothed out a fair bit. And then I'll go in with the white and do the final pass over as well. And then we'll move on to the lips and the eyes, because we can get a bit of character in those as well, I reckon. We can always just do a bit more of the ears over here. Right, I'm going to grab the Chinese white from the Derwent drawing, 7200. And I might just, looks like it had a bit of green on it, so I'll just get that sorted. And now for some highlights. And I'll just go through and pop those in. Burnish any other areas that we didn't get to. This Chinese white, oh man, it's my favorite. It is so good. I don't know what is in this. Magic. Magic fairies. This is the magic fairy pencil. Oh, I could never have enough of this one. So good. The ear. Okay, I think that is the skin done after all of that. It takes a long time, doesn't it? All right, now let's move on to the eyes and the lips, and then we're probably going to base these little seaweed bits before we do the hair. We'll probably do the hair after that. Before I do that though, I might just see if I can smooth out a little bit of this, because it is coming up on the camera, but I can see I've just got these streaks, which kind of aren't meant to be there. See if we can just smooth those out. We might end up getting a blender pencil later on. Yeah, we'll leave them like that for now. Okay, what we're going to do now is the eyes and the lips. Let's do the lips first. So they'll probably be slightly more pinky, but I'm going to try and keep them similar. So I'm going to start off with Nectar PC 1092 and just lightly, a bit under there too. We'll just go over the whole area. This will probably be the base colour. And then I think we'll go, let's try Ruby Earth from the Derwent drawing, 6510. And this will probably be one of the darkest that I'll mix with brown. We'll add in a little bit of orange too, potentially. Let's see how we're going. I've never done like not a lipstick lip. So it's kind of like, how do we do it without him looking like he's, you know, got his favourite Chanel lippy on? So to do that, I'm just going for some very neutral reds, browny reds. All right, after that we could try, let's try the Prismacolor Chocolate PC 1082. So far, so good. Oh man, I just drew a pencil line. I flipped my pencil over and scraped that. Let's go for the dark brown PC 946 in the Prismacolor. Okay, I am going to go back to Nectar, PC 1092, add a bit more of that in. And I'll bring the highlight more on this side because his face is kind of tilted with the left slightly more forward, his left. Bit of that. The last colour I think we'll add is Dusky Pink from the Derwent drawing 1700. And I'll just go over more areas of that. Just leave some highlight for some white. So let's add our Chinese white in the Derwent drawing, 7200. And I'll just go over that middle bit. Nice, that'll do, just a nice neutral lip. Now for the eyeballs. Now these are quite often, well, always, never white. So I like to add in some grey and also a bit of blue as well because it does reflect the light. So I'm going to start with Prismacolor 30% French Grey PC 1070 and really lightly from the edges. Work my way in. And I'm just, yeah, just like a really light amount. Now for Prismacolor Sky Blue Light, PC 1086. And I'm just going to add that into the mix. Maybe just the top half around the bottom, probably not the whole way. Just a little bit there. Always room for some clay rose, PC 1017 in the Prismacolor. Just a really tiny bit. Otherwise we can look a little bit bloodshot and we don't want that. So just a little bit there. I'm just being very careful with this pencil because this is quite gritty. There's always bits in it. While I've got the clay rose, just use a little bit for the corners of his eye, and we will go in with other colours, but just while they're here, I'll just pop that in. Could always add in a bit of nectar, PC 1092. A little bit in, maybe about halfway out. And then just for a little bit more grey, I'm just going to go with 10% warm grey, PC 1050. You don't need to, if you don't have all of these, I'm just adding a little bit more. I'll add that over the whole area. And I might go back with the 30% French grey actually, PC 1070. And I might just, because they're looking a bit not orby, I want to make them look a bit round. So we can add a little bit into the corners. And there's always more than you think. And then Chinese white in the Derwent drawing, you just can't see the thingy, 7200, and I'm just going to go over the whole lot and just blend that out, lighten it up a little bit. Do the same for the pinky bits, whatever they're called, in the eyeballs. And then we're going to do the center of the eyes as well. So I'll just start off with a wax black. So Derwent Drawing Ivory Black 6700. Let's get those nice and dark, and I'm just going to fill in that whole area. We might even go over these with a acrylic paint pen if by the end these aren't looking black enough. I like these to be really saturated with a good, cool black color. And we'll go over the highlights in the pupils with an acrylic marker as well later on, just to make them pop a bit more. Now I think I want him to have brown eyes. I think that'll be good. So let's have a look at, we'll just use the colors that we've used in the skin. So we'll go chocolate, PC 1082. And I'm just going to bring it out from around one corner and just I'll make them quite dark, but those for the minute. Dark brown, PC 946. We're also going to grab the espresso in the Prismacolor PC 1099 and I might just work around some edges. If I can get it straight. We can use black if we need to. Try and not muck up that edge this time. That's Ace again. For some reason Ace just always loves to make noises when I'm filming. Under there, I think we need to add more brown in. Let's go more brown. Let's go with Burnt Ochre 943 in Prismacolor, just for this lighter section. He's such a grumbly boy, Ace. Okay. I'm really liking the look of, see how I've just got this tiny bit of white under there. I really like that. Kind of adds to the sheen of everything, so I'm going to leave that there. And we can probably just mush it in a bit with our Chinese white again, or just whatever white you're using or intending to use if you're watching this first. Okay. What I might do while I'm sitting here looking at this, which is bugging me, I'm going to grab the dark brown 946 and see if I can just fix that a bit. I can always get my blender pencil out. How are we? Yeah, it's getting there, isn't it? It's just... oh, something gritty in there. It's just a little bit, how you going? Just a little bit. It was certainly coming up more on the camera than it was in the actual, on the actual page. Yeah. Okay, so that is the face done. We can always come back and adjust if we need to, like I was saying. Now what we're going to do is some watercolor basing for the seaweed and for starfish as well. I'm going to leave the dots on his face for now. I'll see if they need doing at the end. Sometimes you can leave them. You don't always have to fill them in. They kind of do look nice as just a bit of character on their own. So I am thinking of doing these bigger ones red, these ones green, and the trident will be a very yellow gold. I think I've got the Pearl X pigment, so we might go like a solar gold, and then we'll do orange in these. So quite bright, because I want his hair to be white at this stage, and we'll thread through, kind of like we've done with the eyes. We've put some grey in there, so we're going to do that with the white as well. Is we're going to white out all the black lines, put some grey in there, put some of these colours in there, some reflective colours. Let's go with Madder Brown first. So in the Derwent INKTENSE, so 1920. I'm going to use the Madder Brown as a shadow colour, and I am thinking of having the darkest on the outside and working my way in. So this is the darkest. And I absolutely love the Derwent INKTENSE on this paper. Again, like here, I'm probably going to leave the dots and I'll just go over them. I can always go over them in the glitter paint, and I can do the same for these dots as well. It's another option. You don't always have to colour in the pattern work that's there. You could leave him a little bit glittery. If you wanted to add a lot of character, you could absolutely put them in as moles, or like maybe some abalone spots or something. But yeah, we'll leave them like that for now. One of my favourite colour combinations is orange, brown and this mint colour. It's so good. Should reuse it more often. I mean, I was going to have this seaweed green, but maybe instead of green, we could go like a browny yellowy colour. Maybe we could do that. And I'm even just thinking like, maybe they shouldn't be red, maybe they should be brown. Thoughts. Thoughts. Or I could have a red undertone and brown on the top. You know, you just do stuff. Classic me, I just do stuff and then I change my mind. Man, his eyes are popping. Hey, I'm looking at them at the camera. They're a bit, I feel like I'm being watched. You ever get the feeling like you're being watched? It's happening. This madder brown is a very pink brown. So I'm just wondering if we even, thoughts. I had plans for all these different colours and now I'm like, do we just can that and go with whatever is coming up in my brain right now? I wish I didn't do this. I mean, I like that I do it, but at the same time, it's like, why? Okay, while I'm thinking about that in my head, oh no, there's one more to go. Because we could use, I've got a whole lot of brownie reds we could add. So rather than a bright red, we could go brownie red. I'm just thinking too, maybe we shouldn't have orange starfish on his head because they might get a bit lost because he's quite a ruddy colour. He's quite so I'm thinking out loud. While I'm colouring, thinking out loud what we could do. Okay, so there's that matter done. Okay, next colour for the same leaves is Crimson 0530 in the INKTENSE. Yes, we'll go for a pinky brown. the shadow parts will be brown and then the rest, yeah, can be pink. I'm thinking like the hennas, the chestnuts over the top, and then we can just layer in a brighter pink as well. Stars, I don't know yet. I was gonna, yeah, like I was saying, I was gonna go orange, but his face is already a bit that way, so probs not. Probs not. See, we could go mint colour, but his hair's gonna have a fair bit of that in it, in the white. I'm almost thinking too, instead of all of this being pink, what if we throw yellow in there too? So it's like pink and yellow. So what if we added a bit of Sicilian yellow, 0220. Just watch for a bit. What if we did a bit of that? And we did a bit of colour shifting. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so let's stick with the Sicilian yellow for now. And we're going to swap it. And we'll see what colour we can get with the matter. Right, I'm going to leave a couple of gaps for the crimson. Sorry, I'm thinking on the fly here, so... The one down here. And let's go over to these ones. Let's just keep the Sicilian yellow in our hands. Yeah, if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I do this. What's that song? If you don't know me by now, you'll never ever ever know me. Oh dear. It's a worry. It is a worry. I was reserving this yellow for these ones, and now I'm taking it. Now we have to change again, or we could just blend them all together. We'll just do something. Anything. Yep, so these are going to be brown, yellow, and pink. And all of the above. Okay. Let's go back to our crimson. I do sincerely apologise. Derwent INKTENSE Crimson 0530. I do want that trident gold though. These, the Bubbida Bubbities, what are they called? Starfish could be aquacolor. Maybe. Don't know. There goes Remy. She wants to be let outside again. Again, for the 5th time in the last hour. All right, let's add them to the bottom. Could always make these starfish aqua, but then they could go to like a lime peel colour. Maybe. I don't want to bring in colours that just don't work or that seem really random. Maybe there'll be a thing that we do at the end. Maybe we'll see how all the hair's looking before we decide. Sorry if you can hear the dogs sooking. They wanted to go out and now they want to come back in again. After I literally put them out and they started whinging. They're like, let me in, I want to go back out again. So annoying. They always get to this time of day. It's about, for me, it's about 3 to 4 o'clock. They always get to this time of day and they just don't, because it's, you know, it's about an hour away from their dinner time, etc. And they just don't know what's going on. They get uncomfortable and they get sooky. All right, that'll do for that. Now what I want to do is, let's make these a little bit of a darker brown. So let's start with Sepia Ink 2010. Yes, this is quite dark, but I'm not going to go completely ham with it. Let's just go from these corners like so. And I might leave the stems blank for now, but when we activate, we can just go over them with our colour, or we could make them darker. Because I wouldn't mind going over them with some glitter. Have you noticed that the sooking has transferred to inside? Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's that colour there. Now let's go saddle brown, 1740 in the INKTENSE, and I'll just continue it outwards. And I think it'll just be these two colours for the base, and then we can go over with other colours on the top. If you want to add in some different types of browns, we can. Or other colours as well. Because what is probably going to happen too, when we start mixing these colours, the crimson's going to mix with the yellow to make a fourth colour on there. So we're going to start getting some oranges. So I'm hoping anyway. That's in theory what should happen. Oh dear. I can never just have anything just red. Or brown. Okay, moving down. Yeah, hold the phone, nothing to see here. Talk amongst yourselves. There we go. That was always there. I'm just leaving a little bit of a gap so that it's not like this full-on solid color at the end. Okay, let's activate this and then that will be probably it for today's video. Probably almost hitting the 4-hour mark, potentially. So cloth, and I'm just going to use the Arteza brush. This is the smallest. I usually like using the smallest in colouring books. The second smallest potentially as well. And let's just go from right to left like I usually do. And we'll just start from here and just work our way to the darkest. Wipe off. Every time I'm changing colour, I'm just going to wipe off just so I don't end up having the same colour across everything. And I don't want to bring out the darker colours up where there's not much colour as well. I kind of want to keep the gaps where I can. Okay, so keeping in the same fashion, right to left, now I'm just going to go into these little bit of bubbly things. I think I will keep the stems white and use a gel pen or some glitter paint or something. Yeah, if you didn't want them to look all uniform, what you could do, see how I'm dragging from light to dark, you could swap it over and then drag dark to light if you wanted just to change up the intensity of them, the colour. They won't really all be the same anyway, but yeah, you could change them up if you wanted to. Okay, this one. All right, moving up. Just gonna try not to get it on the hair areas. I like the color we're getting with the madder brown and the yellow. It's like it's a very rusty, deep rusty color. It's cool. And then it'll all change again when I put pencil on top. Get some different shades. But no, good decision to do the change, the color shifting, I reckon. Okay, friends, that is part 1 of our page complete. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. We've covered so much stuff: watercolor backgrounds, skin tones, eyeballs, irises, lips, lots of discussions about what colors to do next, listening to all my dogs go crazy. So thank you so much for joining me, and make sure you tuned in to part 2. Best way to do that is subscribe if you would like, and switch the notifications on. I will see you in the next video, guys, coming very soon. Bye bye.